Welcome to MUFON Midwest, where we discuss some of the most interesting UFO, UAP sightings in the heartland. MUFON field investigators and eyewitnesses share their amazing experiences with the public on this podcast. And now, here's your host for MUFON Midwest, Margie K.
Hello and welcome to the MUFON Midwest podcast. I'm your host, Margie K., Central Region Director for MUFON. Tonight we have an unusual case out of Iowa. This case number 141236, which was featured in the July issue of the MUFON Journal. My guests tonight are David Kreiter, Chief Investigator for Iowa MUFON, Greg Andersen, State Director for Iowa MUFON, and Chad Cheek, a man who witnessed an extraordinary event and obtained photos of UFOs and, yes, extraterrestrials. If you have questions or comments during the show, please post them in the chat. Hang on to your hats, folks. Let's start with David Kreiter. David, please tell us about your investigation.
Well, first I'd like to thank you, Margie, for having us. Chad and the Iowa MUFON State Director Greg Andersen and I are going to be talking about an extraordinary case that involved Chad, a witness who is here today to talk about his experience. This case, number 14236, was featured in the July issue of the MUFON Journal with a 6-page layout. So I will set the stage for the case and then let Chad talk about his experience. So Chad picked up a package from the Kossuth Regional Health Center in Algona, Iowa, and headed south on Highway 169 at 2 a.m. on March 28, 2024. The package, containing blood samples, was destined for the Life Serve Blood Center in Des Moines, a donation and distribution center for blood products. This was expected to be just a routine journey for Chad, as he had driven this stretch of Highway 169 a couple of times a week for nearly 3 years. His sister, who's an administrator and the dispatcher for the same company, was also doing blood deliveries near Waterloo, Iowa. She was on the phone with her brother Chad during his entire trip, keeping him company and talking about family matters. Soon, things became really weird. Chad, do you want to take it from here?
Sure. Hi, Margie.
Hi, Chad. Welcome.
So, just like David was saying, can you mute him?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So like David was saying, I picked up a sample of blood about 2 o'clock in the morning from the hospital. I left headed back to Des Moines, Iowa. It is about an hour, or actually a two and a half hours, about 2.5 hour drive, or 145 miles long. Anyways, I left the hospital. I was seeing these lights behind me on just behind the side of the road. And I was talking to my sister on the phone. She was on the phone the entire time. And I was telling my sister, look, it was crazy. It looked like I see some lights was behind me. It looked like a car. And she was like, no, it's just probably from the town you was just coming out of. And I said, no, I'm about 20 minutes out. I've been going around these curves and these lights are weird. So I took a picture of it and I sent it to her. And while I was on the phone, I said, well, I'm going to take a couple of videos. So I couldn't take a video because I was Bluetooth to my vehicle at that time. So I took a couple short videos and my sister calls back and she's like, get the hell out of there, Chad. I see faces in there. And it spooked the hell out of me. So I took off.
No.
Probably was running about speeds about 80, 100 miles an hour. I mean, she just had me kind of scared for a minute. When I took off, I kept seeing these orbs. At this time, I'll call them orbs. I'm not from the UFO world at all. I'm just starting to learn some of this stuff. But I was seeing these lights, and it was about maybe the telephone pole height, but it was coming out on both sides of the road and then directly behind me. And then I seen this spark, like this bright light coming out. and I was just getting freaked the hell out. So I pulled over the side of the road, got out of the vehicle, and I could see these 4 orbs like those lights I was talking about that you can see in the rearview mirror or the side mirror. They started to dissipate. And I could see a square white object down the center of the road, 3 little, I don't even know what you want to call them, but they look like they turned into animal figures that was on the left-hand side of my vehicle, and one on the right. The one on the right, you could see it looked like it was turning into like, I don't know, an animal. The face looked red. I got spooked the hell out, jumped back in the vehicle and took off. As soon as I took off, you could see that one animal looking thing turn back into this orb, zigzagging down the road. I was probably hitting speeds about 100 miles an hour by then. I was telling my sister on the phone, this thing looked like it's going to hit my vehicle. And it zigzagged down the road, and it slammed in the side of my vehicle so hard that it shoved my vehicle upside the road. And I was hitting the rumble strips. And it wasn't an impact like when you get in a vehicle accident where another vehicle hits into you. It was a weird feeling when it hit me. It was inside the back of my vehicle. I'm screaming at my sister. It's like, this damn thing's in the back of my vehicle. And I'm looking around behind me. Well, as I'm looking behind me, I can see more of these lights just coming out of the sky on both sides. It was all over the place. I see the semi coming up. I was driving down the road. I could see a semi coming up. And I got behind him, and I was trying to pass him. My sister was like, well, what are you doing? Because like we was on the phone the entire time, just the entire 2-hour trip. And I said, I want to get in front of the semi to feel safe. And she was like, no, to stay behind him. And that's just crazy talk. So I'm trying to pass the semi, and these orbs are just flying down the road, just flying down or clear in front of me. It looked like it was coming back up towards me, like an oncoming car, but they wasn't. As soon as I passed that semi, this is the truth. As soon as I got past from that semi, I looked behind me, that semi disappeared. It didn't roll. It didn't flip. It didn't turn over. The road looked like it stretched. It was a crazy, weird looking. And I was done in a panic. So my speeds were about 100 miles an hour. When I got in front of that semi, I was probably running about 50, 55, 60. I took back off as fast as I can. The thing that was in the back of my vehicle, and I never seen it, you can hear my speakers in my vehicle they was just being distorted. It was the weirdest sound. And you just kept seeing these lights on both sides of the roads just kept coming down at me. I told my sister I was feeling weird at that time. It wasn't a sick feeling, just feeling weird. And I'm just hauling ass down the road. And I told her, I said, tell my family I love them. I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't know what the hell was going on. At that time, I literally felt my shoulder go down like something was entering my body. It was the craziest shit. And that was the last thing I remember. Oh, I'm sorry. Before that happened, that white square object that was behind me, it flew over my vehicle. And then that's when all this stuff had happened with my shoulder and looked like something entered my body. But that was the last memory I had. I lost memory probably over about an hour and a half. Don't remember the rest of the drive. Now, remember, I was on the phone with my sister the entire time. I took over 50 pictures that night. It's 43 that you could really see. I've showed you those already, about 3 videos. And it's a crazy night.
That sounds crazy. In fact, I've done hundreds of UFO investigations, and this one has got to be in the top 3. And you said that this red light was in your car, in the back of your car, or was it outside?
Right. No. So when you start showing those pictures, it slammed the side of my vehicle. Now, here's the crazy part. There wasn't a dent or a mark on my vehicle at all. Not at all. But it hit my vehicle so my sister heard all this, but it was in the back seat. You can hear it moving around back there. But I was already freaked out. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was just trying to get the hell out of there. I was just so damn scared. But you can hear it. My sister can hear it. My speakers were being distorted, just back and forth. My vehicle, it was a perfect vehicle. I haven't had any problems with it. But everything that happened that night and for the rest of the next year has not been normal with me.
Oh, I'll bet. David, did you have anything else? What do you have planned next for us?
Well, I thought that maybe you could start with the photos and then have Chad go through and talk about each one.
Okay.
This is
the route from Algona. From Algona, Iowa, straight down, clear into Des Moines. That is 145 miles long. Took me about 2 hours and 20 minutes to get there. So when I left Algona, Iowa, it was about 2:00. My first photo I took was at 2:20.
And where on this map did you first see the first orb?
Just right out of Algona.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Cool. We were right up on. So I left the hospital at 2:00. 2:20 was when I took the first photo. So you can see here, this was at 2:20. This is the picture that I took, sent to my sister. There's actually 4 orb. I'll call them orbs, but you could, when you go to the next video or the next picture, you'll see. But there's 4 figures in the back of that mirror. There you go. There's actually 3 here, but there's one on the one on the right, or actually the 2 on the right. I still see them today up to the past couple months ago. They're still around.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see them at your house?
Yeah. And actually, I just moved. I've only been here for maybe about 6 months. I moved probably about 10 blocks from the house I was living in. And up until a few months ago, literally I get off work and I come home and I isolate myself. I don't even go outside.
Okay. We've got Greg Andersen on with us, State Director for Iowa. Greg, did you go out, or did you or David or both of you go out to any of these sites?
I went out to check out the Highway 169, and I went at night so that I could relive the experience as much as possible and check for lighting. And the one area where he sees, he's got the picture of the entities and stuff, is just south of Humboldt and stuff. And I went past that area at about the same time of night that he did. And their only thing that you saw was maybe an occasional farmhouse light, and they were few and far between. It was rather lonely at that time of night. There's not a lot of traffic. So yeah, I didn't really see anything that was either like a red or green or yellow light like you see on the pictures you'll see later. But yeah, it definitely, I was hoping I'd see something, at least try to explain some of the lighting stuff, but no, didn't see anything.
Now, Chad said, you said you're having this as ongoing at your house now. Are you seeing them at your house?
Yeah.
And so,
well, it's been a couple months now, but this has been ongoing from that night to my house that I was living in Ankeny. It went straight for 2 weeks solid. I don't think I went to bed for like 3 days. I was just so freaked the hell out. And then I started driving again. I didn't even want to drive, but I was making good money. My bills are about $6,000 a month. So, I had to make that money again. So I was back driving, and I turned my mirrors. I didn't even want to look out there. I tried to stay driving during the daytime, but I'd still see him. And it was in Grimes, Iowa, Grinnell, Fort Dodge. Fort Dodge was my last one that I witnessed. I actually quit. Over my mom's house was on the east side of Des Moines. And then, like I said, then I moved over to a new property now. And sure shit, clear into about February, March, I'm still seeing them out there. I got to take my dog for a walk now at nighttime so he can go to the bathroom. Even my dog picks up on him. I can literally see him 300, 400, 500 feet away, and I'm done. I live this every day. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I live this. I go to work. I think about this all day long. I go to night. I think about this all. It's just, it's overwhelming. I wish I could make this stuff up.
Well, let's go back to this picture. They look very strange, especially to me, the one on the left. I'm kind of picking a face out. I don't know if that's pareidolia, but here's a close up.
So that's what my sister, right. That's what she said, that she's seen a face. And me and my sister are very close. And when she said that, I was spooked the hell out. I even had my window down because I was taking a couple of videos after that. And she was telling me to roll my window up. So, yeah.
Okay. And then we've got this picture.
Yep. So this is where I pulled over the side of the road. I had enough of this because I kept seeing all these orbs flashing, and none of this is normal. Like, I'm 53 years old, and this is not normal. And I'm an east sider of Des Moines, and I just pulled over, and I'm like, this is pissing me the hell off. And I got out and I took a picture, and I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. And literally, as I look behind me, you can see that white object straight down the middle of the road. It just popped out of nowhere. There's 3 that's on the left-hand side. You can see, I don't know if you can zoom in, but the one on the right, they all had around us, and they dissipated into like these animal looking things. And the one on the right just freaked me the hell out. I can see, there you go. I can see that as close as possible. That's when I got back in the vehicle and I took off as fast as I can. And that turned right back into like an orb-shaped looking thing, and it was zigzagged down the road, meet my speeds, and that slammed in my vehicle. That's what was in the center of the road. That's what flew over my vehicle right up before I lost memory. And when that flew down the road, Margie, I was telling my sister, it looked like a double wide garage was coming down the road. It was that, it just took up the whole backside of the road. And when it flew over my vehicle, my speakers were being distorted again. You can hear the shaking and the rumble. And when it flew, it went like this, and then it turned at an angle just right over. And I don't remember nothing else. Nothing else. To this day, I don't remember nothing.
Did you have missing time?
100%. I don't remember anything. I don't remember nothing until I got into Grimes to a gas station pulling in for gas.
Oh boy. Okay.
And like, you know, that was about an hour and a half.
Okay. So you wanted me to stop there because next up it gets even stranger. Did you have some comments about what's coming up?
Yep. Correct.
David or Greg, did you have anything you wanted to say?
That last picture you guys seen, that was the last.
Okay, so that's the last thing you saw, and then you don't remember what happened after. Okay.
No. And you don't even have all the pictures on here. I think I have like another 20 some pictures.
And what's this?
That's what I was seeing out of this. That's what I was seeing out of the sky that was coming out of both sides of my vehicle. This is actually my last photo that was taken in the series. I don't even remember taking this picture, but the reason why this is up there is this is exactly what I was seeing coming out of the sky, and you can see a trail coming out of them. Now you'll get to see a little glare up on that top, that side of the corner of the picture there. That's actually from my window that was rolled up, but this is what I was seeing that entire night.
Okay. Did they have those tails on them, or were they single dots? And this is because of the movement of the camera.
I only seen just the single dots, you know, but they were streaking so fast. But I'd never seen none of the streaks. No. But this is exactly what I seen.
Yeah, I think Greg and David will agree with me here. When you have camera shake, all of these little lines should be going the exact same way, but in this case, they're not. They're all different. Is that something that you took note of? Yeah. Okay.
No, not in this picture. I didn't. No.
Okay.
I do see what you're saying.
Yeah, the blue is squiggly, the red has right angles, and then the white one is one turn. That's not camera shake. It can't be.
Right. The crazy part is I got another picture. I got another picture just exactly like this at my house in Ankeny that was coming through my window.
Oh boy. Okay, so next.
Now this photo here. Yeah, I don't remember none of these.
Did you take this photo?
You can actually see them crossing the road.
Okay. So was this photo taken before or after you don't have any memories?
This is after. I have like another 20 some pictures that I don't remember taking.
So you don't remember taking this photograph?
I do not remember taking this.
And look at all of these things on the left side that look like kind of like a person walking. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 at least. And then in the middle of the road, 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I've never seen any. Well, I have seen something like that, but not this many.
They're all real close in shape as far as camera shake too, as also.
Yeah, I agree. They are. And then
now this was right. This was actually the one before you just was just shown. It almost looks like they transformed from one thing into another thing as they're going across the road. And you can tell the time. That was at 2:28 a.m. So I left the hospital at 2 o'clock. My first photo was at 2:20.
and this is 8 minutes later.
Yep,
Okay.
and I went through
And then
hell in
this
8
is
minutes.
you
So
sent
that's
me
a
close
blown
up.
up one right. So you can actually sit there and look at them. They're looking at me or the vehicle. You can see the
Kinda
skull.
does
You
look
can
like
look at
that.
the indentations
Right.
of the eyes.
Mm-hmm. And then this one. What is this?
So this is what I seen that this is what I seen out of the back of the sky when I first right before I got out of my vehicle. Just these streaks that were just coming behind me. Which this is one of the reasons why actually I stopped. I had enough, and it was like, this is crazy shit. And up here I'm taking I just out of the door. This is I don't know what it is. As I'm driving, I had my phone out the window, and I was just taking pictures as quickly as possible behind me. But if you look at those
Okay.
colors and you go back and look at that square object, you can see almost the same colors in that.
Okay, so there's that one, and then there's, well,
Right.
that's like yellow and white, and that's multicolor. Well, it's got yellow and white and maybe red in it. Okay, David, and what is your assessment?
Well, actually, you should talk to Greg about this because he did the photo for forensic on these photos.
Okay, all right, Greg, what do you think?
Well, could you go back to that initial one with the squiggly entities? The one with they're real thin and closer.
This one?
That one. That was the first of two pictures that have the entities that were taking out the front windshield, and then the one before that then was the second, and it was actually only 7 seconds later. And I did some using the metadata off of the pictures that he had. I was able to come up with between those two pictures, they traveled a distance of 634 feet, which is an average of 62 miles per hour that he was going. What I found really interesting was they seem like they're so close on that first picture, the one with the taller, skinnier, that one, they seem like they're fairly close within that 634 feet. So, I found, and then on the next one, first of all, if you look at the orange one here in the middle, right on the center line of the highway.
Yeah.
In the other picture, it's also on the center line of the highway. It's like they're almost in the same position. It's just that the angle of the camera is different.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're not moving laterally very far. So, it makes me wonder about whether or not, in some ways I'm thinking that possibly it could have been even a reflection of some lights that were behind the car. And as you were closer, and then as he got further away, they got smaller than behind the car, but they're not 606 some feet behind. So it's kind of hard to tell what exactly happened. Did they stay ahead of the car or at the same positions, or, and I don't think it's not lights within the car. It's just,
Well, and the fact that there are multicolors
right.
is compelling because it's much more difficult to point to a single light source as being a reflection and causing this phenomena. I mean, Chad, did you have any lights on in your car that were multicolored?
No, not at all.
Oh, it rules that out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I used programs like Forensically Beta, and there was no cloning of objects and stuff. It wasn't stuff that was added to the photo, things that we would normally do for photo analysis.
Mhm.
And again, that metadata, that GPS, and the iPhones, the GPS was turned on, so I was able to get GPS data. So you could get the exact spot on the highway that he took the pictures. You know, and those two particular pictures were just, like I said, south of Humboldt. Humboldt's about halfway down between Algona and down to Des Moines. It's yeah. So
Okay, so somewhere around here.
yeah. Somewhere.
Have you received, you or David received any other cases in along that stretch of highway that might be related?
I mean, we've gotten a lot of cases a little further west than that on a stretch, kind of that corridor, but not 169.
Okay.
Mike is muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not on that stretch of highway, but there have been many cases that we've investigated in the central part of the state, which includes Des Moines. So the region goes all the way from the northern part of the state up by Crystal Lake, all the way down to the southern border. I've had dozens of cases that I've investigated with really good witnesses along that, in that same area.
Yeah.
Do you have any other cases that are similar to this where you'd have these balls of light either following you or in front of you while you're driving?
No.
No.
Our former chief investigator, Beverly Trout, investigated a case where an orb followed a person who was driving for like hours. And the orb was about the size of maybe like a bowling ball or something like that. That's the only one I can think of right now.
Yeah, she had mentioned that they were going along the interstate and that you could almost reach out the window and touch it. It was that close. It was racing along beside him. And then it took off straight, just like a right angle, just took off. And when it stopped, when it left them. But that was a daylight, and it was an actual sphere.
Okay, we've got a bunch of comments, and I'm going to pop some up. Okay, Eric says, I talked to Chad the day after this event. He was shook, didn't want to talk about it. I'm so happy to see him coming forward and getting his story out. Thanks, Chad. Thank you for that, Eric. Fred Zooey, do you think, Margie, that the lights, orbs that Chad saw changing to animals? Do you think this was a screen memory as well as a semi-truck that Chad observed? Well, the missing truck is, boy, that's a question. How does that sort of thing happen? In my mind, it's a time difference. It's where you would be taken out of regular time. The semi-truck didn't really disappear. It was going along in its own time, but you were taken away for time and then placed back, and the truck wasn't in the same location. That's kind of what, I'm just picking up. And then we've got another comment from Fred. Looks like a fully controlled ET experience with Chad, if not having an ET abduction during his drive time with missing time. Okay, that's kind of what I was just mentioning. Eric says, pictures are unexplainable, craziest things I ever saw. Yes, indeed. I agree, Eric. What town did Chad lose his memory, and what town does he remember coming back to his awareness?
So I don't know what town I was in, but if you look at the picture and look at my GPS data on it, it was Livermore, Iowa. That was the last of it right there. Grimes, Iowa. I pulled into a gas station. So if you do the distance on that, like I said, it's like 145 miles. I'm sorry, a little over 100 miles. About an hour and a half is what I lost from memory. I got back actually to the life source site at 4:30 in the morning. So if you want to do the math on that, like I said, I was at the hospital at 2 o'clock in the morning and got back and met my sister at 4:30.
And that was one of the odd things about it too, is the fact that everything seemed to be about normal time frame for him as far as his drive,
Uh-huh.
but that he at times was going, as he said, close to 100 miles per hour and stuff. So yeah, there were varying speeds, based on the GPS data and some of the other stuff. I've got him going from like 55, 60 miles an hour in certain spots. And, but yeah.
And Fred says in Nebraska, they've had cases with orbs that were moving alongside the driver on I-80, and orbs came inside the car. Interesting. Had a question about photo analysis.
Yeah.
Was that done on any of the photos?
Oh yeah, we did all the ones that I could get that were I could actually get the metadata off of and stuff. I did the photo analysis on them, but also Seth Feinstein, who's also a CMS coordinator and the photo analysis team member. He kind of wrote that the metadata verifies the date and location. The time is 2:29. The witness work and background would tend to lead one to believe he is a reliable witness. The following are all theories. The colored lights on and off the road could be lens flares or reflections of lights on and off the road in the direction of the camera is facing. Were any lights of these colors in this direction? And the answer to that was no. I went out there and I couldn't find any lights like that. The jagged lines are light are the results of two artifacts. First is the product, the result of a handheld cell phone shooting images at high speed, and the jagged colors are a result of shaking motion. We've already discussed that. And the jagged lines and phantom shapes are a photographic artifact called rolling shutter. And essentially that the artifact makes everything tilt to the side. It occurs when a subject moves rapidly through the frame during causing distortions. This could be the car movement or the objects themselves. It's kind of like a curtain going over. It's taking pictures. It's a rolling shutter. That's why everything comes out kind of slanting, and you can see on those entity photos that everything is kind of slanting. And he said that the photo forensic shots showed numerous ant-like, Lloyd pie-like alien skulls atop each streaky light. These streaks may, in fact, support the witness testimony of being chased by these beings. And his interpretation of the shapes representing aliens' heads may be pareidolia, and most of my colleagues would say so. And then he does say at the very end of his analysis, he says, "Call me crazy, but I think this witness has evidence in the street image, which along with his sister's testimony supports his story. The rolling shutter camera artifact is prominent in this picture. Photo forensics show what could be evidence of ant-like and large cranium species of alien figures on top of the jagged lights in the image. Science is doing the same process under lab conditions and coming up with the same result over and over. This is why I believe we do not have pareidolia. I mean, why would each figure have odd skulls on top of them if they were not really there? I do not want to see alien figures or skulls, but they are there. So how could it be pareidolia?" And that was Seth Feinstein's comments.
Excellent. Most excellent.
And Margie?
Yes.
And about the missing time, we have to remember that his sister was on the phone with him the entire time.
Right.
And she attributes it more to, rather than an abduction or anything, he was really freaked out about this, and she attributed this more to post-traumatic syndrome.
Oh, well, sure. No doubt, based on your experiences, that would be shocking to anyone, even people who have had previous experiences, who have actually seen extraterrestrials. Or you're being chased down the highway by some unknown lights and then you're getting pictures of what's possibly extraterrestrials, missing vehicle, missing 18-wheeler truck, and then you've got ongoing experiences. Chad, can you talk a little bit about what has happened since that particular event?
Yeah, I'll get into a little bit. Some I'm still kind of keeping quiet. You know, like I said, David knows. He knows the full history of this now, but
only what you feel comfortable.
After that night, it went on for. I appreciate it. It went on pretty solid at my house for about 2 weeks. Every time I would look out the window, it was crazy because maybe the paranoia was overcoming, but every time I would get this feeling, we haven't talked, but I would get this vibration, not a muscle spasm, but a vibration from my waist down to my feet. Even my vehicle would vibrate at times, but whenever my legs would vibrate, I would look out the windows and I knew something was around, and I would literally see those 4 objects. When we were at the beginning of the podcast that we shown, I would see them every single time outside of my house in Ankeny. I'd start seeing these spinning orbs. I think I sent you a video earlier about that. That was it. I don't even know how to explain this. I don't even know how to even just to sit down and put this around my head. I just don't get it. Every time my sister would call me a magnet. Let's just put it that way. Every time I was out driving or at my house, I literally would call her up, or I would take a picture and a video and like, look at this shit. It's right here, and I don't get it. Our lease ended. It ended in Ankeny, and I actually moved back to my mom's for a little bit. My family, I don't think they even knew what the hell I was going through. They was trying to figure it out. And then it was happening over at my mom's house. Just like I emailed you earlier, it was like about a half-hour drive from my house to my mom's house on the other side of town. And sure shit, I would see them outside the house at night. And when I say I see them, I didn't sit there and have a conversation with them or nothing. It would just freak me the hell out, and I went back in. Though one thing that really has impacted my life was I had a event in Fort Dodge. I took my last run in Fort Dodge for life serve, and as soon as I left life serve in Fort Dodge, I was going down Highway 20 to head back to the interstate. And Margie, I'm telling you, I can't believe I'm saying this, but those 4 lights I can see behind me again, and I got that brave, like I need to figure out what the hell's going on with this. And I could literally see the road behind me. It looked like it stretched. All the cars behind me, they never got closer. I even let off gas pedal to see what was going on. And no cars ever came up to me. And I seen this one huge orb. It was about a bluish green. It flew down the center of the highway behind my vehicle. And I pulled over on Highway 20, Quentin Avenue. And I remember this today because I could see the sign. And I pulled over, and that orb flew right behind me. And there was a being inside that, and it shook its head at me. I was done. That was the last time. And I don't remember too much of that, but I remember driving away from it, getting back on the interstate, and I never seen a vehicle up until I got to Elkhart, Iowa. And those 4 lights came and started following me again. So I've had this ongoing multiple times clear up to the end of 2024. And then about January, February, maybe right into March, still on and on at my new place I'm living at right now. But now it's just so much. I don't know what to do with this. Honestly, I want to go back out and relive this all over again and go back and face this, but it freaks the hell out of me. And the only reason why I say it freaks the hell out of me is what smashed into my vehicle that night. Then I'm seeing my photos. I'm seeing these ET beings walking across the road. It's not normal. Like I said, I'm going to say this again. I'm 53 years old. I've had a great life. I've been an engineer. I've traveled all around the world. This is not normal. Not 100%. It's not normal.
No, I would say you're correct about that. David, did you run any tests on his vehicle?
No, I haven't. But, it's not that surprising to me that there were no dents or anything like that. Because can you imagine, for example, if you're passing someone, they throw a water balloon at you, for example, it'd make a tremendous noise, but it wouldn't cause a dent.
Right. No, I was just thinking radiation testing, EMF testing, because I've had a case here in Kansas City that was a vehicle was attacked by something UFO,
Well,
and it had high EMF readings for 2 weeks after the car had this event happen, and then it stopped, and also the compass was way off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've
and
had-
also he doesn't have that car anymore, so there'd be no way to test it.
Got no more. Right. About every 2 or 3 months, I was buying a new vehicle just because I put so many miles on the vehicles when I was driving, delivering for blood, because we did all over the state of Iowa and outside Iowa. You know, we could put 100,000 miles in 10 months on these vehicles. So I only had it for maybe a couple more months, but I got a video. Yeah, I mean, I learned to have a vehicle. Me sitting in the vehicle one day, my legs started vibrating, and you could feel my vehicle just shaking. There was no wind. I literally took the video, and I was showing out there, and I had a bottle of water, and you could see the water in there just vibrating in there. And again, none of this is normal to me, you know?
Yeah.
Chad, did you or any of your family members ever have anything along these lines, anything strange happen to them before your first incident?
No, I mean, I'll do a laughing matter. I have a strange sister, but other than that, no, this is the first. I had two, sis. I love you.
Oh gosh. Okay, we got a question from Carl. Culture or ancestry of witness? Are you Irish, Native American, Scots-Irish blood? Do you have any of that in you?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I have really never looked into that. I'm born on St. Patty's Day. I can tell you that.
Okay, well, yeah, that's.
I know we do have a little bit of Cherokee. There's some Cherokee blood in me.
Okay. Because we're finding some commonalities with people who have Native American or Scots-Irish or Irish blood in almost every case I've ever done.
And green eyes. Do you have green eyes?
Oh, green eyes, yeah.
So I have two different color eyes. I have a brown eye and I have a green eye. Yep. Or well, it's green, but it does turn blue. And every once in a while it does change colors, but it's this eye here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so sister making a comment. Seriously, Chad?
That's my
you
sister.
had to go there. Okay. And she says she did have experiences before this. Okay, well, Sheila, we're going to have to get you on the show then. Thank you for chiming in there. Appreciate it. So they also seem to follow families. That's the reason I asked that question earlier. Something about the DNA maybe. But as far as high strangeness, David and Greg, where does this one rate on your chart of high strangeness?
I personally think it's right up there at the top as far as Iowa high strangeness cases. I mean, we've had some other cases that were very interesting that happened in the past, but I'd rank this one on top, I guess.
I'd have to agree.
Okay, so number one. Number one. Congratulations, Chad. You have the number one strangest case in Iowa in known recorded history. Yeah, I'd have to say that's up there. And what's odd to me is that you didn't have any experiences prior to that one, and then this one is unbelievable. It's got everything that's weird in it. It's got possible missing time, a disappearing truck, orbs that turned into beings, and you're traveling so fast and can't get away from them. It just checks almost all the boxes. And so I'd say this is
I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Okay, so Woo Writers DG says he has heterochromia. So now we know the name. You probably knew that. I didn't. So what's what's next? Chad, are you going to try to figure out what's going on? Are you going to investigate on your own a little more? Are you going to get some night vision equipment and maybe put up some hunter cameras outside your house? What are you going to do?
Honestly, I don't know. I reached out to Nick Pope. I finally was a chance to get hold of him. He got me in touch with the MUFON department here with David and Greg, which has been just great. I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. I really don't. I don't. I couldn't tell you. I want to face my fears. They're not fears. I want to face this because, like I said, I kind of isolated myself the past few months. But I know they're here. I know they're here. I can go outside at night and they're there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to handle this.
Well, it just seems to me like, this doesn't happen to everyone. So this would be a good opportunity to get some evidence and maybe have some motion activated cameras outside your house, some night vision, put your cell phone, I'm sure Greg already told you this, but go into your cell phone settings and put it on highest setting so you get 60 frames per second instead of 30. Just things like that. It just seems like an opportunity because you have this happen so often to you that you could possibly get some more evidence.
I'm going to fill you in. I did take that opportunity towards the end of 2024, and I was at my mom's. We actually had a security camera up there, and I got pictures on that. I think I've done everything besides going back out there and reliving this all over again. So, I mean, it's up there. I don't know what the next step is to be. I've actually asked my sister to take a ride and just go back up to Algona and just do it all over again and then figure this out. But I even asked David. David doesn't want to go with me. But yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to have a conversation with Greg and David later, and maybe work something out, possibly to have, set up a sting operation and try to catch them, at your place or nearby there somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that have you fellas tried that yet? I mean, besides driving on the highway, I know you were. Yeah. I know you did that.
Yeah. Actually, he needs a MADAR unit.
Oh yes, you do need a MADAR. In fact, I can hook you up. At a discount. Yeah. For you folks who don't know what MADAR is, it actually is like a little UFO radar that you hook up to your router in your house and leave it alone, and it sends data to the head office. Fran Ridge at NICAP runs MADAR, and it's been around since the 70s, but they're constantly improving it, and it checks all kinds of different types of signals and barometric pressure and all that, and lets you know if there's a UFO around. And it's even got an alarm on it if you want to go that far and plug that in. I don't on mine because I would be up all night with it going off. So I just go back and look at the data later, if something I think happens. So it's a really good thing.
Yep.
I think that'd be the first thing to do. Okay, have Chad in with your drive time enactment. He will bring in the beans. Yes. Guess so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll do. If we were doing a documentary film, that would be the thing to do, Fred. Oh my goodness. I'm just kind of at a loss because this sighting is so incredible. This event, I mean, it's ongoing. It's not like it was a one-off. It's ongoing, and you got fantastic pictures, even photos you didn't know you took. Which, by the way,
like I said, and even the audience hasn't even. Yeah, but even the audience hasn't even seen the rest of the pictures, But they're incredible.
Right. Well, I think we should revisit this at some point and maybe get some more pictures to show. I think the audience would really like that. And Maybe we can talk about putting that article in another publication. Maybe, I don't know, a little more in depth or something. Of course, 6 pages you had there, David. You had a 6-page. That's a lot in the MUFON Journal. They'll give you 6 pages on something. So this is a big deal. So if you want to read,
yeah.
For anybody who's a MUFON member or had subscribes to the MUFON Journal, it was in the July issue, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so
That's
check that out
right.
there.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Anything else you want to add, David or Greg?
No.
Well, I'll just say that Chad has been really great to work with, and we've kept in close contact for
Thanks, Dave.
6 months at least now. And I'm learning more every day. So I want to thank Chad for being such good.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
Thanks,
gentlemen. Thank you, Chad, for coming forward and publicly letting everybody know what's going on. I mean, we may not know exactly what it is, but we know something happened, and that's extremely out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
And you may not ever get all the answers, Chad. That's just how this game goes.
Sure.
But all we can do at MUFON is investigate to our best of our ability and keep the records, so we can compare it to other cases, and also, for investigators working on things in the future. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I will say thank you so much, gentlemen, and perhaps we'll do this again sometime soon.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, that is another edition of MUFON Midwest. And of course, this is only our second show, guys. We will continue to be here every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And we typically are discussing cases, MUFON cases, with the investigators involved, with the state officers involved, and as many times as we possibly can with the eyewitnesses themselves, because they're going to tell you exactly what happened. And I appreciate this good case, really good case for our second show. I appreciate that. And we'll see you all here again next week.